Libby was kind enough to send me the link to the documentary. This documentary was aired in 2017. I think it was late 2017 when, yeah, the first real explanation as to their courtship, other than what was given before about them meeting at the Invictus Games in Toronto in May 2016. And then, of course, the Kensington Palace statement for their engagement stating that she was hanging around in Windsor by May 2016. This is why I don't believe any of the escorting or they had a relationship or there was some sort of hookup. I don't believe that whatsoever, because this dates back to like around, I would say 2011-ish, 2012. I'm sure that Harry or Todge was still dating his first girlfriend by then, or maybe it just finished. But this is a strategy, and this has been a strategy for a long time. I've shown you images of Nut around Todge by 2013, 2014. I do know that she was there in Istanbul in 2015 in April. I've done all of that research. I know exactly who the people that she was hanging around that night or those couple of nights and having those parties with, especially Millie McIntosh and her husband at the time. And, you know, I've put the two and two together. I still, why on earth would Todge be having an official marriage with an escort? He could have been having her as a mistress or someone who's hidden. I'm sure there are many hidden relationships and hidden people, even probably with roles within the palace that actually are in relationships with royals. I'm sure this is a thing, and they don't have to marry or they don't have to be publicly shown. So the whole point of Nut has always been the globalist agenda and getting the heir and the spare to America ready for 2025, 2030. And it's been right on time, you know, if you think about all of the world events that have happened. It's been right on time to then push policy, created kids to push censorship policy and stuff like that. And because race wasn't enough, the race card, etc., etc. I used to believe that they had a real relationship and that they had just met earlier. But then I couldn't understand as to why that would be hidden. I couldn't understand as to why they would then fake a relationship with Cressida Bonus. I don't know how to pronounce her name. And stuff like that. It just didn't make any real sense to me to then publicly out it by 2016 and then have a fake courtship. Like, there's been several stories about this courtship. The selfie, like, why add the selfie, the Instagram selfie that wasn't even available by June 2016, that emoji selfie thing feature of Instagram wasn't available. But they added that in, and they just add more things in and more things in, and they just shoot themselves in the foot. So I don't. There are many reasons that I have considered them all as to them hooking up or her being in an escort, and I just think that's a way to assassinate her character, the identity that's been created. She possibly could have been an escort, but I just don't see how, in a sense, that's valid, or even in terms of meeting him and having a relationship, because He had a fake girlfriend in between as well, and it just doesn't really particularly make any sense when you actually think about it. That's how I've been thinking, and it really debunked the probability or the logic behind being in a relationship and meeting each other earlier. It just made no sense as to why that was hidden. Still doesn't really make any sense as to why that was hidden. And they had to build her character up, from Suits onwards. She was nothing before 2011, so you could say maybe they met really early on, and they had to build her character up to give her credibility. Maybe that's a possibility. Seeing she never divorced and possibly married, didn't marry Trevor in 2011. So all of that could be just a ruse, just a way to build up her credibility before she comes into the royal fold. But it's all very timely, and it could have been any time before 2016. Yeah, I don't buy it. Anyway, let's watch the documentary, and I'll pause and make notes when I haven't actually seen this, so I'll pause and make notes when necessary.
Soon there could be a new face on the famous balcony. Meghan Markle.
And that big beautiful smile?
Prince Harry, Britain's favourite royal, has met his match. But who is Meghan? Born in Los Angeles, Meghan Markle is a TV star.
Oh, thank you so much for watching.
She's also a humanitarian and an activist.
I am proud to be a woman and a feminist.
I'm just wanting to let you know that that's been all a creation. I've gone through the Bananatarian campaign, or the World Vision campaign, UN, One Young World, all done in the UK by 2013. Yeah, very, very strange.
As comfortable making speeches at UN conferences as she is on the red carpet.
She's very sharp, intelligent, independent, successful.
And she's a very impressive...
Just as well, right at this time when this documentary was aired, Samantha Markle also agreed with this narrative that she was strong, smart, a wonderful woman, and she was in full support of her. So that changed soon after with instruction, and she changed her tone very, very quickly. And that was her saying that she said that she didn't mind not being at the wedding, even though they had yet to be engaged at that point. She was talking about marriage and weddings, so... and she said that she didn't really expect to be at the wedding because she didn't see wheelchair access being available, something along those lines. She made that sort of jest. I am paraphrasing, but yeah. So that was the narrative at the time. Quickly changed.
Impressive young woman.
Meghan is more than your average actor.
She's just vivacious. Meghan always made me feel good. Like, she is a woman's woman.
Meghan's origins...
I don't know who that woman is, but she's a plant. Whoever that is, it's just ridiculous.
lie far from the world of princes and palaces, as this film exclusively reveals.
It's got to be one of the ugliest jobs there ever was, to be a coal miner in the hard coal regions.
On both sides of Meghan's family, It's an all-American story of true grit and triumph over adversity.
They wanted to have something better. They wanted their own slice of the American dream.
Now the life of a princess beckons. But is Meghan ready for royalty? And are the royals ready for her? It's time to meet Meghan Markle.
How artificial and ingenuine is that? That is really, really weird. They've gone off all her Instagram setups. Like, I don't know. The first thing I did when I researched was I researched her entire Instagram logs and noticed patterns from there. And that's how I could unfold the entire setup of who she was and her fake relationship with Corey Vitiello and her fake credibility branding being built, and then all of that stuff and all of her trips overseas and everything. But to put all these shots of her. Yeah. Was this the same time that she stood down her Instagram? So how do they get all these pics? Like, or was it they used them and then she closed her account down? But that would obviously need her permission, right? It's just, odd. Insincere, more than anything.
Unlike previous recruits to the royal family,
So they started off with her being a recruit. Okay.
Meghan Markle is no stranger to the limelight.
Meghan, a little bit to your right.
Until she met Prince Harry, the 36-year-old actor was best known for her role in the US legal drama Suits.
She wasn't best known for it. And that's obviously a setup. We've gone through this as well. That Suits was a setup. So she's been a construct from the very beginning. So this is the beginning of her identity that they're selling as credibility. And we know from the get-go that that's been created.
She plays paralegal Rachel Zane, whose feisty personality she captured perfectly in this, her very first scene.
I'm Rachel Zane. I'll be giving you orientation.
Wow, you're pretty.
Good. You've hit on me. We can get it out of the way that I'm not interested.
Smart, sassy, independent. It was apparently the Rachel Zane character who Harry first fell for.
He had a crush on Rachel Zane 2 years before he ever met Meghan Markle. And the reason I know that is because I was having drinks with one of his friends and she told me she'd been on a night out with Prince Harry. He was single at the time. And she said to him, so, Harry, who's your ideal girl? And he said, Meghan Markle from Suits.
I'm going to pause that because I have to reflect as to him being single at the time and also being 2 years prior and saying that he had a crush on Meghan Markle. Just give me a second here. Okay, so Todge broke up supposedly with Christina Bonas, which I don't believe was a genuine relationship, just to add more credibility to him, but that's my own opinion. They broke up late April 2014, and he was at the time in Miami, for which then I have shown you during a nightclub event that he actually met up with Nutt and Marcus Anderson. And so, which doesn't add up to 2 years before Katie Nichols saying that he had a crush on Meghan Markle, like he didn't know her but had a crush on her from a distance. She was also at his polo in 2013. So obviously it's not true. But if we're to consider the timeline that she's proposing, yes, I guess you say it was 2 years before. But I mean, whatever. They would have to be it would have to be straight after April, having a drink in a club. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so it does fall in that timeline. So at least she's done well on that one. However, still not true.
In July 2016, Meghan, who's a friend of Serena Williams, attended Wimbledon.
She looks
Prince
terrible.
Harry and Meghan.
She looks fucking terrible. She looks like shit. I just love how this is meant to be this staging and setup of this whole courtship. When she, I mean, the images are so. She's so posy in everything she does because she knows this is her big launch. But she looks like shit. And that's not me not like. Well, I don't like her because she's just a an employed actress. But this is just funny because she really does not look good. She looks like she's been on a bender. And she's, she looks hungover and a bit dehydrated. That's what she looks like to me. She doesn't look great, but yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Had a mutual friend, Marcus Anderson, a consultant for the fashionable Soho house chain.
Meghan was hanging out with Marcus and hanging out at Soho House, and when the prince heard about it, he asked Marcus if he could set up not a date, but an opportunity for them to meet. And that happened in one of the private rooms of Soho House in D.
An opportunity for them to meet. Yeah, to be honest, that does sound pretty escorty, but yeah, I mean, doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, if she was an escort, do you really think she'd be marrying into the royal family? Come on.
Dean Street. There were, about 7 or 8 of them together. It was a perfect opportunity for Harry and Meghan to sort of come together in a really informal environment and just actually talk. But she was funny, feisty, confident. She didn't seem too swayed or knocked by the fact that he was Prince Harry. And she thought he was terribly cute. And he thought, well, this is a cracking girl.
For a few.
It's just so funny because in a lot of the books, was it Bauer's book? She has told Gina Nelthorpe Cowan, who was the one who got her into One Young World and was her PR agent since pretty much 2013. She told her over lunch that she was about to go on a date with Prince Harry. Do you see how Bauer's book, Lady C's book, all of these authors have just recreated a narrative that they've then been instructed? Because that wasn't the narrative now in 2017. But by the time they had their book, this was the new narrative of either that she knew and that she did go on just a solo date with him rather than a group of 7 people, and having not a date but a group get together where they could meet. No selfie, nothing of that nature. And then there's also that she didn't know who Harry was, and that she had one question: was he nice? It's just, oh my God, like there are so many different stories regarding this entire fucking narrative. Drives me nuts. It drives me nuts just how many narratives there are now that we're meant to believe. And it's just interesting how people haven't spotted it and been like, oh, wait, hang on a minute. I want to show you just how much of a liar Katie Nicholl is and how much of a lie and orchestration this palace narrative is of this entire fucking relationship. And it makes me so angry that it's been so obvious. So after she says it by 2017, Katie Nicholl in that documentary, how they met through Marcus and a group of 7 to 8 people, she writes then a book under instruction, of course. This is Katie Nicholl's book, Harry and Meghan, Life, Loss and Love. It was launched by 2019. Ever since Harry and Meghan announced their engagement in November 2017, royal fans have been attempting to put the pieces together of how the Duke and Duchess met. Originally, fans were convinced they were introduced through designer Misha Nonu, whatever the fuck her name is. No, they weren't. And see how they're covering it up? So it was Marcus. They've deleted Marcus. Now it's Misha. All these people are puppets, by the way. They're willing to be puppets in this orchestration. Do you understand how big this orchestration is? From Canada to the US to the UK to Australia. All over, you've got these puppets willing to be a part of this play, this theatre. A long-time friend, but we now know who really set the royal couple up on their blind date, Violet von Westenholz. She changed her own narrative, her own instruction. And she still thinks she has credibility as a royal expert under the palace. Oh, listen to this. It's been known for quite some time that they had a blind date. So it was a date at London's Soho House. But through Nicholl's reporting, she discovered exactly what went on. Oh. Spoiler alert. Chilled rosé was involved. Can you believe this bitch? Can you believe her? Can you believe this? She said it wasn't a date. I'm just having a read. Oh yeah, so the Violet, she gave Harry Meghan's number. He got in touch. When they met days later, Harry was immediately bowled over with the lively, passionate and beautiful, not feisty, not strong, not independent, but lively, passionate and beautiful. Very different. They've harnessed the identity of Nut in a different way. Was very different from the girls he had been dating. She exuded a confidence and charisma that he was immediately drawn to. They just clicked and got on from the very meet-up. It was all very easy and natural from the start. They quickly arranged to see each other again, this time at Soho House in London. So, what was the first date? Where was the first date? If it wasn't at Soho London, Dean Street. See? It doesn't make any sense. They quickly arranged to see each other again, this time at Soho House in London, and Marcus arranged for a discreet table in the private members club. Over a bottle of chilled rosé, they chatted for hours, conferring to Harry that he had indeed met someone special. So special, in fact, that he invited her to join him in Botswana several weeks earlier. Oh, wait, later. Harry has since said of that romance that all the stars have aligned and everything was just perfect. It reminds me of like Tom Cruise jumping on that couch like a fucking dingbat on Oprah. It's that sort of fakery that gets you places. So that's Katie Nicholl for you. That's Katie Nicholl's credibility. Just a sock puppet.
Prince Harry and Meghan had a mutual friend, Marcus Anderson, a consultant for the fashionable Soho house chain.
Meghan was hanging out with Marcus and hanging out at Soho House, and when the prince heard about it, he asked Marcus if he could set up, not a date, but an opportunity for them to meet. And that happened in one of the private rooms.
Imagine being such a shill, having no morals whatsoever, but associating yourself with the branding, the very high moral branding, elitist branding of the royal family.
Of Soho House in Dean Street. There were, about 7 or 8 of them together. It was a perfect opportunity for Harry and Meghan to sort of come together in a really informal environment and just actually talk. But she was funny, feisty, confident. She didn't seem too swayed or knocked by the fact that he was Prince Harry. And she thought he was terribly cute. And he thought, well, this is a cracking girl.
For a few days, it seems the couple saw each other intensively and then parted.
Oh, no.
Harry headed off to Southern Africa and
They have the fake story. Oh, well, hold on. I'm jumping the gun. Let's have a listen.
campaigned for one of his passions, conservation.
Actually, this already debunks the Africa story, because they were meant to arrange to join each other in Africa weeks before, around Mummy's anniversary, and that was him saying that he, to please come over in August. So him already being there already debunks this story. So again, just the whole courtship story that was sold in Netflix is completely fake.
Meghan returned to Toronto, where Suits is shot. The two began a secretive, long-distance relationship. An early clue when Meghan posted an Instagram picture revealing...
That was in September that she posted that picture. She was in the at the Soho country Soho, whatever, that location. That was September, so that was after the supposed Africa trip. And she was hanging out with Millie McIntosh at Soho, this country estate.
Revealing a bracelet identical to one worn by Harry. Soon, the press was onto them.
Initially, we broke the story, a world exclusive of Prince Harry going out with Meghan Markle, because we had received information that she was his girlfriend and that they'd been going out for some time.
It's interesting, though, to note that she said that she was told that they were in a relationship and had been in a relationship for quite some time. So their narrative of Nut, with her bracelet, threatening or blackmailing the family, or blackmailing or coercing Harry Todge to then let all the papers know, all the royal rota know, under palace instruction, because they have complete control over that. It's obviously through the palace communications that has instructed Camilla to break out this article, and gave complete instruction and detail as to their relationship, that they had a solid relationship, and gave it credibility for her then to report about it. So nothing to do with not whatsoever. This is the brainwashing that everyone's had, that everyone has this belief that Nut has somehow manipulated people and manipulated the whole system. It is insane. I believed it too, so I take accountability for being brainwashed as well, but when you really think about it, it doesn't make any sense. And she's telling you that it wasn't Nut while they were having Halloween in Toronto, supposedly, that she gave her a call, or it was those bracelets.